even if I don't do what? I don't state the introduction. Yes, you can argue like that, but in a situation where we are required to answer 4 questions out of 10, and the 4 all have got 2 marks missed, you are going to miss 2 times the 4. Those are 8 marks lost if you don't write the what? The introduction. And then the body here, as I told you, you are not going to be sure that you're going to write all the 12 questions correct. And here, supposing you wrote only the 6 correct points, and you have missed the 2, and then you're also going to miss a mark here. So you are going to get 6 times the 4, which is very, very, very low. You are not going to get even a pass. So that's why it is important that you state the what? Introduction, and add there. Very good points. Well explained, by the way. Here, well explained, but not one day. But not what? One day. So after explaining that, for example, you have written very good 12, and you can add 12 plus 2, that's 14. But of course, part A is normally out of 12 or 13, like that. As long as the whole question is how many? 25 marks. That is part A and B combined. So you can see the importance of this. And of course, like I told you, while writing the points here, you must not be too wordy. At the same time, begin with the point, like I told you in the paragraphing. Begin with the point, like I've started here. Chapters was of what? Of expansion, then explain. And what we are they. Of course, here you are also going to mention the Mofekane period. And it was caused by was the greed, the man who wanted to ensure that everybody is under him in South Africa. And that's why it ended up causing the period of what? Of suffering. So you explain, but not being too wordy. Then you state another point, explain. Another point, explain. With good English, by the way. English is a must here. Good English, but not bombastic. Because some people want to use bombastic words. That you want to scare the one who's going to mark. You are not scaring anybody. Clear and well-phrased English, which can be understood. There is a man who wrote, a boy who wrote English, and he was like, I want to scare him, so that when he's marking me, he can give me marks. You're not going to scare somebody to give you marks. So write English that can be read and understood by everybody. Not the English of Haramus Karam, Wagamaya, Hegemony. And at times some of those words are not good for the O-level students. So that one now takes me to the last part. I think you have got the body clearly. You can continue referring to my human being. Now after that, we leave the body alone. That is the body. And then we go to the what? To the last part of the human being. I cannot call it the tail, but these are the legs you can see. These are legs. And they are the legs that form the what? The conclusion. And what is in the conclusion? Very many people have been giving funny conclusions. But and what is the conclusion? It is summing it up. It is bringing all that has been discussed. Which has been written. For example, if part B, and I told you it is in part B, I told you the conclusion is on part B. For example, if part B of the other question I said for you about the Ngoni was about effects of the Ngoni migration, that now is part B. In part B is where we are going to have our conclusion. Now, if the question is about effects of Ngoni, what's the nature of our conclusion? The simplest and the more appealing ones are two. That is social, political, and economic. Social, political, and what? Economic. And very many people are now making this one to appear different. That the effects were social, political, and economical. I always round that. The AL should not appear. And why? Economic and economical are not the same things. They are not. Why? Economic, it is in the economic aspect. But economical is like someone is these people who spend those who are not lavish spenders. Somebody who is careful with his money as he does what? Those are economic. Some people call them stingy, others call them honogam and so on. Masanda. Those are the like, let us be economical in the way we use our food. Let's be economical in the, but that one will not be good introduction. I mean conclusion. The only thing is economic, not economic. Very many students write AL, which is not good. The AL is not allowed. It is economic. And that's one. Then another one is positive and negative. These are the most simplest. Positive and what? And negative. Simple. Effects of the Ngoni migration, positive and negative. But others even go an extra mile after stating this and that, and they say, as seen above. As seen above. That's not necessary. As seen above is not necessary. And it makes you even lose the mark. If you say, as seen above, who is he seeing? The man who is marking has already seen what you have written. Don't tell him, as seen above. And then others tend to say, socio-political and economic in nature. Also, that one is not allowed to add the other word in nature. Why? Why is it not necessary? In nature. Why is it not necessary? Why? Because socio-political and economic are already aspects of nature. Social nature, political nature, and economic word. So when you add the word in nature, it's like a repetition of all this. So that's why we are saying don't add that word there. Positive and negative. Others say, as seen above, and as stated by myself, or that's how I look at it. All those ones should not appear. So I have taken you through the parts that make a good history essay. And to recap is to come again. To recap is, it has an introduction which kickstarts everything that you need to write on the question. And in that introduction, mention the key areas. That is where you are going to begin. And you should maintain a logical flow of information, one following another. Like you cannot just say, they came from the Natal province. That one is not, you should be logical. I mean flow. That's not maintaining the flow of events. The flow of events is begin by defining them. After defining them, you can talk about the origin, or you can talk about the relations with other people and blah blah blah. But you cannot just say by 1840 they had already. That's not a good flow. So that's where you have to do that. Then the body, the points you are going to state, and of course I told you begin by stating the point and then explain briefly, not a lot of wording, and then conclusion, brief and logical. You make a brief one but logical, and I've already told you the two most common conclusions. So speak economic, and then talk about negative, positive or negative. Avoid adding there vague words, like in nature, like as seen above, blah, 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 blah. That one takes us through the parts that make a good history essay for now. When I get back, I will come back with giving you conclusions, the conclusions. We can have a break. I'll come back and give you types of conclusions. Which ones on what? Conclusion on what? Conclusion on this, conclusion on that. And you will be good to go.